The shadow's starting to get a bit longer. Week 10 of the NFL season is here, and we're underway on EA Sports. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10, and he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Here come the Bengals now to take over, and out will come the leader of this offense, and that, of course, is their signal caller. They find some open field here. And he'll avoid the tackle there with a slide. A good pickup there, 26 yards. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Throwing right, and that's complete. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. It's a gain of 13, and the Bengals have a first down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
That O-line, they cleared a big hole there on that run.
The athleticism of offensive lines continues to evolve, and we're seeing it here. Not only are they controlling things right at the line of scrimmage, but they're able to get upfield to get to what we call the second and the third levels. You know, get to linebacker spot, the secondary spot, getting all the way downfield with their blocking, which helps keep the running back clean.
They'll try to continue that trend here this afternoon. And the Buffet boys, the O-line, hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And they're going to get him. He's sacked back around the 28.
Partner, I know the ball security is preached like crazy. But every now and then, you've got to know when to get rid of the football and save a little bit of yardage if you're a quarterback.
Because now if you're the offensive coordinator, what does it do if it was 3rd and 10 versus 3rd and much longer as it is now?
Yeah, it changes everything in terms of play calling and the pressure you might expect to face on the very next down. Had to throw the ball away and save the yardage. He didn't get it done.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
This defense is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. They came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
And Bullock will put this one through. And the Bengals are on the board first here. It's 3-0. So the folks here in the stands this afternoon, they're happy about that one. Their guys get the early advantage after the opening drive field goal.
And they should be happy. Their guys look good getting down the field, and that's got to give them hope that good things are in store here today.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This will be fielded at the 8. Gets past one man. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. So here are the Cowboys now ready to go on offense for the first time. And here's a look at their leader, standing 6'4". Throwing on 1st down. Bennett. And a quick throw here that's complete. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Pretty darn good, as you see right there on your screen.
I'll echo that. Darn good. 2 touchdowns, right? And the ability to be in sync with each other, right? To understand that he's going to be where the quarterback expects him to be when the ball is thrown. Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
And the big boys up front in the trenches, what do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
See if they stay on the ground for second down. Now Bennett to throw. From the gun, he'll throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. We'll check on his status when we get back. Now the offense lining up 1st and 10. Back to throw. Bennett. And incomplete on the deep ball. Partner, your thoughts on this D-line?
I love a unit that can control the run and get after the passer. This is an all-around terrific defensive front. Hard to move the ball against them on the ground, and then when you want to throw it, look out. Here they come after the quarterback.
Bennett now. Back to the air on second down. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you go lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. Call it a 3-yard gain, and that'll bring up 4th down.
A short gain that doesn't get them the 1st down brings up a 4th down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before it. A first update now out of Jacksonville. And the Jags, they're out to an early lead there. Remember to keep an eye on the ticker, of course, at the bottom of your screen for updates on that game and others around the NFL. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best.
Through an opening, and there he goes. And all the way down to the 24-yard line. A big play there for Cincinnati. 45 yards.
Coaches really don't care from what position they get this, but run after the catch ability, rack ability, is often the difference between winning and losing and changing field position.
So here we go, 1st and 10 now. He'll look to throw. Quick throw, that's complete on the inside slant. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the 1st down completion.
Some think the teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
9 yards on the play there, and it sets him up 1st and goal. This offense can certainly move quickly when they want to. 3 plays, 3 pass completions. In the blink of an eye, they've got a 1st and goal.
Almost felt like a lightning bolt hit in this game, didn't it? For them to get downfield that quickly. And now 1st and goal, expect them to attack right here on this play.
Now they try the right side here. And they'll get him down here at about the 5-yard line. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal. And the big meat on the D-line, we'll see how they do today.
And I'd hate to be an offensive lineman having to deal with these guys. They come in hungry, mean, and confident. They think that no one can block them.
He'll look to throw. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Malik Collins coming up the middle, gets him there for a loss of about 9.
2nd goal, last thing you need to do is get pushed backwards to take a sack. But he couldn't find anywhere to go with the football, had to eat it, and ended up on the ground.
And now because of the sack, it's 3rd and goal from the 14. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. Only able to pick up a yard, and that's going to leave him with a long 4th and goal.
Now I would be surprised if they go for it. 3 points is not ideal. It's not what they want, but it's still only the first half. Take the 3 points and move on.
So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. And Bullock will put this one through. And that'll make it 6-0 here in the first. So that scores now in their first 2 possessions, but it's 6-0. Probably not the kind of scores they were hoping for.
No, not at all, but I think that they've shown that they can have some success against this defense. So they'll go back to the sideline knowing the points are going to be there for the taking.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is taken at the 3. And a good effort on the return there. Gets them across the 30 to the 33-yard line. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them.
Nice little nifty play for them there. Yeah, that's the ability to read a defense and utilize players that don't often get picked up in coverage easily. And I'm talking about being able to use the backs out of the backfield. Because I know that when I used to cover, hey, we got everybody oh, he just snuck out there, and they just got a nice first down there.
What do we love to say? Get those backs into space, right? And they were able to do that there. Nice pickup on first down. Bennett on 1st and 10. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Well, you know a coach said that, right?
Yeah.
Not an actual player. Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
And he's brought down. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed, and he's able to get to the 2nd level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
Now Bennett off the play fake. Under pressure, and he'll go down. They'll sack him on what ought to be the final play of this first quarter. Nick Vigil coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8. Sitting alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, as it is Cowboy football to begin quarter number 2. but they face a 2nd and long to start things out. Looking to throw. Bennett. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. Bennett operating from the gun. And this is going to be incomplete.
Let's face it, you can run the route tree as many times as you want, get in sync, practice it, do all those things. But once you get to game speed, it doesn't always time up quite that well. That one goes incomplete.
So on 4th down, here's Chris Jones to punt it away. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him with contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
And the Cowboys' pressure gets there this time for the sack. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result?
Sack.
Quarterback gets hit.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20. Give him 2 yards that time, and it's going to leave him with a 3rd and 11 situation.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
And they can't get the long connection as it falls incomplete.
Sometimes the coverage is so good, no matter what you're doing on offense, you just can't shake anyone free. They try their best to find someone open, but they took away every passing alley, every angle, and shut the play down.
He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. And out now come the Cowboys. The last couple of drives have ended in punts. Maybe the crowd minds that, but you're a defensive guy. You're okay with a couple of punt drives.
Listen, I'm the guy that loves a 0-0 pitch game. All right, in baseball, I can handle that going into the 7th inning. I think the crowd, though, they want to see a little bit more excitement. Let's see if someone can break something free on offense and get going.
Offense at a premium the last 2 drives. Give them 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Not much happening there on 1st down.
I thought there might have been a hole for a split second.
Yeah, but it dried up pretty quickly, didn't it? Closed fast.
Handoff looking right. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he's going to be out of bounds, but able to take it inside the 40-yard line. A big chunk on the ground there, 27 yards.
Outside handoff to the right side. If you're a running back, you love getting the ball early so you have vision to see what's happening in front of you.
Right tackle likes that call. Big play for him, but don't forget about the guys you always tell me on the backside sealing off.
When they talk about cutoff blocks, making sure no one can leak from the backside that can run a play down.
Yeah, nobody leaked. Big play. Now Bennett to throw. Throwing on first down. Looking left side, and it's complete. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
They'll run it now out of the gun. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. And a nickel look here for the Bengals as they try to defend this on 3rd. Back to throw. Bennett. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and
the holder's going to keep it. He's going to try to run for it. And he will not even make it back to the line of scrimmage. They pass up the 3, fake it. It doesn't work. Well, clearly that was a design play. I just don't know that it was the right design by your holder to have him pick it up and kind of be the power guy trying to run through the middle. Everything has to go right for that to work.
You mean you weren't relying on just great blocking to get him through? You kind of think maybe he can help make his own way if he's an actual running back instead of the holder? Yeah, I thought the same thing.
Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. It's the second quarter. His team has the lead, but I think he's hoping for a little bit more production out of himself.
And we often talk about preaching patience to a runner when things are a little bumpy in the early going, but we have to do the same thing with the offensive line. They can't wait to halftime to make the adjustments. They have to do it from series to series. So those surface tablets come into play. Check out what the defense is doing and see if they can find a better way to run it.
So they search for that patience here now.
I once had a defensive player in the NFL tell me, if I beat and dominate the guy across from me, I'm helping my team. Well, winning one-on-one battles is always a part of the game, but when you have good team defense, as we just saw there, one broken tackle, but he didn't get away because the rest of the guys arrived to put him on the ground.
And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll be about a full yard shy of the 20 at the 19-yard line. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and that's going to make it 4th down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Here's Kevin Huber now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. .46 on his first kick. This one in that neighborhood as well. Now fair catch is called for and taken at the, we'll call it the 37-yard line. A 40-yard punt, no return, and the offense will take over with a new set of downs. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call it in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. Looking to throw on second down. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
The completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now they'll run on the draw. And they'll get him down here at about the 42. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on 1st down, that fits the bill.
Bennett to throw on 2nd down. And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
The Cowboys on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 7.
Here we go.
Now Bennett from the gun. He'll throw. And he will find his big tight end over the middle. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 20-yard line. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players and somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
A reminder that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll check in with Larry Ridley in Orlando with highlights and analysis of this first half of play.
And I'm going to check in with a heater.
I'm going to be right there with you, partner.
Let's go.
Now here's a whistle as flags come in. And we'll check out the call.
Ball start, offense.
And that'll set them back 5. So now 1st and 15.
Here we go.
And here's Bennett operating from the gun. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
The one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown them a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after them. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they didn't completions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the 1st down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
Now Bennett to throw. Throwing on 3rd and long. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. And now the Bengal defense here calling a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. So the defense had a chance to catch their breath, and now they're back out and ready. And Bailey able to knock it through. And they are on the board, trailing now 6-3. So it's been a battle of field goals here early on. I guess if this were a soccer game, it'd be 2-1, but instead here it's now 6-3.
You mean if this were a football game? Give credit to both defenses, though. When push comes to shove here early, they've held the line, and neither of these offenses have been able to break through.
This will be fielded at the 8. And a good effort on the return there. Gets them across the 30 to the 33-yard line. The Bengals getting set to go. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number one goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number two goal is win your division. Number three goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round. And on 2nd and 10 now.
Watch tight end. Watch tight end. Tight end's right. Tight end's right. Now let's go.
And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep two hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. Now the Bengals on 3rd down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 10.
Now let's go. 3-19.
And he comes back with one complete. And he's got the first down as he's up to the 45-yard line. 12 yards that time and a Cincinnati first down.
As far as tight ends go, this guy's not a speed burner. He's much more of an inline blocking type of a tight end. But how about this last play? Made a nice catch and picked up the first down.
That's what impresses me about him. When he's called upon, he usually gets it done.
Single receiver. Hey, you're on an island over there. Single receiver. All right, here we go. Boom, landed.
And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1.
Let's face it, perfection is something we all chase, whether it's playing this game or whatever we do. Hard to attain, but that's what they were searching for as that pass goes incomplete.
Now let's go. 3-19.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away, and now it's 3rd. And the Bengals on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. He'll drop to throw. And almost picked off. I guess the good news for them now, it's 4th down.
That's really nice coverage there. I'm not sure he would have gotten to the first down marker anyway. But boy, oh boy, did they blanket him.
Yeah, short throw, but he really didn't have many options. Had to force it in. Well, he didn't have to, but he chose to force it in somewhere. Incomplete.
Yeah, now it brings up 4th down.
They'll score that a 36-yard punt, and out will come the offense as they take over. An NFL update, second quarter now in Jacksonville. And the Jags, they're out to an early lead there. I have a feeling that one's going to stay tight throughout. We'll continue to monitor. On first down, Bennett. Man open left side is Brown. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
In recent years, the slot receivers really gained stature in the NFL because they can do so many things. Yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but to have that kind of courage and toughness to run routes in the middle of the field and become dependable targets for their quarterbacks and move the sticks, those guys are worth their weight in gold.
Looking to throw. Bennett. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. So that means they're down to one remaining here as we head toward halftime. On third down, that's Carroll, and he'll be knocked down sideways, right at the line of scrimmage. All right, so the timeout over and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense. On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. Fielded at about the 28. Oh, he will not go down.
Have to retake those ankles.
A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And the Bengals will take over here, 1st and 10. Now this Bengals offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. Now, if you're a fan of punting, and I know that not many people are, but this game kind of turning into one for you.
Well, it's okay if it's a skills contest, right? We're really into it then, but not during the course of an actual game. This has turned into a field position game, though. Sometimes a better punter may actually determine the outcome.
He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. It'll be a 2-yard gain, and it'll make it 2nd down. And unless this is a quick incompletion, this is likely the last play here of this first half. So if you like field goals, this is your game. 6-3, 3 field goals at the break. As we'll send you down to Orlando as we check in with Larry Ridley and our EA Sports Halftime Report. Larry?
All right, Brandon, back to you guys in a minute. But first, it's indeed time for our EA Sports Halftime Report. The Bengals are happy to be in front right now and just want to play 2 more solid quarters. The Cowboys won't panic either. They know they just need to take it one play at a time. All right, let's do it. Here's a look at the first half highlights. Bengals opening the game on offense. Thurman's got the sack here. This will go as a loss of 5. Now 1st and 10. Carter's wide open, able to make the grab. And he ends up at the 24-yard line before he's stopped on the play. Continuing on the drive, Collins is able to zero in on the QB here. This goes for a loss of 9. First and 10. Vigil's got the sack here. This will go for a loss of 8. So that's it for us at the EA Sports Studio. We'll go back now to Cincinnati for the start of the second half.
This will be fielded at the 6. Now a hit and a loose football. And the Bengals grab it. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line.
As that ball got away from him and he saw the opposing team recover it.
You felt his pain?
Oh, I felt his pain, and you know what was going through his head. Tuck it away. Take care of the ball. All the things he hears all week in practice, he didn't carry it over into the game.
And he'll be dropped at the 23 after a pickup of about 4. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on 2nd down.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
Partner, I think the easy thing now would be to just abandon the run and start throwing the football at all costs. But I've been in so many games where it doesn't work running the ball. It doesn't work running the ball. and then something pops, and now you get something going. I'm not so sure to just abandon your game plan this early in the second half.
Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. 6 yards on the pickup, and it'll be 4th down.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. So now here comes the field goal team for the 3rd time today. This from 36 yards out. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. But he will not get away. He stopped short of the marker. They pass up the 3, fake it. It doesn't work.
Well, I like the chutzpah there, right? They decided to go ahead and fake it and try and pick up a first down. But how about how they executed defensively and smothered that one? I know back from my time frame, everyone has responsibilities, even rushing on a field goal attempt. You've got the tight end, you've got the wing back, you might have the guy out of the backfield. But they executed that well, really stuck to what they needed to do.
It wasn't just 11 guys trying to block it. They were ready, they got it done.
Let's go!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he finds some space past the 25 to the 27. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
Bennett now looking to throw on 2nd down. Over the middle, and it's incomplete.
Oh, man, for him to be that wide open and drop it. Sometimes you have just too much time on your hands, right? You end up thinking way too much, and your hands get shaky.
And yes, he's a tight end, but that's a catch he should have made. On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
Cincinnati now ready to take the field. We have not seen much on offense here from either side these last few drives. We've hit a wall, so to speak.
And have hit it hard, haven't we? Because the defenses right now, they seem to be a step ahead, don't they? Beating them to the point of attack, beating them to the punch. These offensive guys, they're tinkering like crazy. What's it going to take to get back on track?
Yeah, both sides searching for adjustments. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is, and really a lot of the time they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance, they're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
The turnover put them in great field position. They don't want to squander it with 3rd down coming up.
No, not at all, and you know what else you do? You make your defense mad.
Yeah.
They got you the football, gave you a great opportunity. You got to cash in and get some points.
Now the Bengals on 3rd down. It's been a problem. Just 1 for 7 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he's going to get the first down here as he's taken down at the 22. It's a Bengal first down, a pickup of 11. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
And after the good gain last play, this time they say, as he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
Sometimes play calls boil down to philosophy. You know you're facing one of the top 10 units against the run in the NFL. So do you decide to keep smashing against them, or do you decide to throw the ball here?
And the Bengals on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This is 3rd and 11. And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up 4th down. So now here comes the field goal team for the 3rd time today. From the left hash, this from 39. And he missed it. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. Well, close game, second half. You obviously hate to leave 3 out on the field.
Especially in a game like this when you know points are hard to come by. That was one of their best opportunities so far, and they come away with nothing.
And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And both of these defenses have been stifling these last few drives offensively. Just not able to get anything going, so what needs to change?
I think a lot of the guys will go back and review, so to speak, because everyone has someone assigned to how did each play work. Okay, what did we use that kind of worked for us during this game? Try and get back to some of those plays, as well as the possibility of showing something you haven't shown already in this game and trying to change things up.
We'll see if they take the advice of Mr. Davis.
It's really come into vogue to talk about the different gaps that a defense tries to attack in an offensive line. And most of the time we're talking about blitzes. How many times have you heard double A-gap blitz? Well, where is the A-gap? It's the space between the center and the guards, either side. So when you're having a double A-gap blitz, that's 2 guys coming through that gap. In this situation, though, that A-gap wasn't open for the defense to exploit. The offensive line took care of it, protected it, and moved the defensive guys out of the way to allow for that nice run.
Spinning past him. And he's going to bowl his way forward to the 48. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll be brought down right at midfield after a gain of only a couple.
When the 4-3 defense is functioning really well, you know who stays what we call clean and no one gets to him? The guy playing the middle linebacker position, the guy we call Mike. That means the defensive front is eating up all the blocks and just let him go to the football and make a play.
On 3rd down. It's Carroll, and he's got enough for the first across midfield to the 48. Just a gain of a couple, but good enough to keep the drive rolling.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground.
Come on, let's go!
A first down carry by Elliott, and able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive, and like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. Bennett to throw on 2nd down. To the sideline, and it's caught, but boy, he's out of bounds. And they try to get him into space coming out of the backfield, but it'll be 3rd down.
The effort's always going to be there. Everyone's always going to try and make a catch, but underthrown balls, I think, are the toughest ones to come back and get because usually your momentum's going in the opposite direction when you're trying to stop, break, and come back and get it.
Now Bennett from the gun on 3rd down. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And the play goes for 19 yards, gives him a new set of downs.
good route, good pickup for first down yardage, and that is a tough one to cover, the angle route, because a running back getting out of the backfield, if you're trying to cover that, especially if you're in the linebacker spot and you're seeing this play develop, he heads out towards the flat first, and that often gets you to overcommit running in that direction. Then he cuts back up inside you into the middle of the field. That's what we just saw there for a nice pickup.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. On first down, they'll run it on the draw play. And this time the yards won't come so easy as they'll, in fact, tackle him behind the line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd and 12.
The best play callers in any league know how to break their tendencies. They study themselves, they self-scout, and they realize most of the time you don't call a draw play on 1st and 10. So every so often you insert that play just to make the defense think, even if it's not successful.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And this one also slow in developing as he's maybe getting back here to the line of scrimmage, but not much more than that. Well, that was better than the first go-around when he lost yardage, but still nothing there, and that sets up a 3rd and long. Tough spot here.
Put it mildly. Sometimes I wonder if some of that old-school football should come back into play. You know what I would think here? Quick kick. Try and change field position, help out your team.
Bennett to throw on 3rd down. Fighting pressure applied, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back at the 33-yard line.
I remember when I was a kid and all I wanted was a nickel so I could get that soda down at the fountain. And guess what? The nickel came into play well. 5 defensive backs, they covered well, allowed for the sacks.
Sodas were a nickel when you were a kid?
No, I just needed the extra nickel so I could pay the proper price.
Okay, how much were they? A dime? What were they?
15 cents.
Checking the NFL scoreboard, they're in the 3rd at MetLife Stadium. And the Rams have opened it up to lead by a couple of touchdowns now. And we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here. The Bengals bring pressure, and it's blocked. So much for pinning him really deep. Short punt could have pinned him inside the 10. Now great field position the other way.
It's never good when you're punting the ball and your eyes see the ball go back behind you.
No.
However form, whether it's over your head or to the side, never good. Now it becomes a race to get to the football so they don't pick it up and take it all the way.
And out now, here come the Bengals. And they have to feel like they missed on an opportunity for points last time when they couldn't connect on that short field goal try.
And no doubt about it, because they were counting on those points. In today's NFL, let's face it, that's really a chip shot, right?
That's anything inside 40.
Yeah, they're counting on that going through the post. But we've seen it happen to teams before. Some of the best kickers in the world can miss kicks like that. Can they come back now and redeem themselves? An opportunity to get a drive started here at the end of the 3rd quarter. What you're trying to do is break the game down a little bit. Don't let your guys see too deep into the game, into the future, and say, oh, we got to get here. No, right here, right in front of them, melt the clock down, get to the 4th quarter, try and keep going.
And try to keep that lead.
Exactly.
Back now in Cincinnati. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the 4th quarter. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. He's got his tight end on the corner route. It's complete. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
Well, how about this aggressive approach? Got the lead, 4th quarter, continuing to throw the football. Are you thinking about Super Bowl 51? Atlanta had the lead against New England, and they ended up giving it up?
I was going to say, don't say it, but you did say it.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah, anybody watching Atlanta, our apologies. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch.
Here we go now. Green 39.
They'll look to throw now on first down. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play, and that'll make it 2nd and 12.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
Let's go!
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
And the Bengals on 3rd down. Not so hot. 2 for 9 to this point. This is 3rd down and 12.
Here we go!
They'll run it now out of the gun. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. It'll be a gain of 4, but it won't be enough. It leaves him with a 4th down now.
All right, that's a decent game there, but it hasn't been his best game overall. So I wonder what the mindset is of his team. Do they want him to handle the football and try and close this game out? Or are they going to make an alternative plan and maybe go in a different direction?
I think they need him, and this is his time to shine. That's to his running back, complete. And it was the stiff arm there that freed him enough to get the first before he's tackled. Give him 8 on the play, and on 4th down, they're able to convert and move the sticks. Well, we looked at each other in surprise going for it on 4th down in the 4th quarter with a lead, but hey, you get it as a coach, you look like a genius.
So the next time we see Coach, he's going to say, well, that's why I coach and that's why you guys talk up there, right? He had the guts to go ahead and go for it, and it paid off.
So the offense has it 1st and 10. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Now look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off inside the 5. He's at the 50, 30, past the 20. And he will score. Touchdown, Cowboys.
Coaches always tell their players someone's got to make a big play, but what they mean is a game-altering play, a game-changing play, a turnover forced, and we just got that. I mean, how about that play, Brandon?
Yeah, a pick 6, 4th quarter, that is a game changer.
Someone read their keys, and someone had the courage to go after the ball right then and there.
And it gives them the lead. Dan Bailey now for the extra point. And he's got it as the lead is now 10-6. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. Returning it, John Ross. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And following the pick 6, and they have decent field position in throwing that pick 6. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
But they told us, they've got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest.
They'll give him 8 on the play, and it'll make it a 2nd down. Just 2 yards to go here on 2nd down for the offense. Now the first carry for Brian Hill. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. So it'll be first down here after the run. Looking to throw. And he will go down. A Cowboys sack.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
They'll look to throw. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down. And the Bengals on third down. Just a 20% success rate at 2 of 10. This will be third and forever.
All right, here we go.
They'll drop to throw. A bullet throw, but incomplete. Here's Kevin Huber now as he's on to punt for Cincinnati. Fair catch signaled for and taken just shy of the 30-yard line. 36 yards on the punt with no return. And possession will switch hands, first and 10. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. And it gives us time to the tailback. A very good move, but for a short gain out near the 32. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Brandon, it's all about pace and tempo now for them. They've got the advantage, so I'm going to put musical terms for you. You don't want to go prestissimo. That's too quick, too lively, right? But you also don't want to slow it down too much. You don't want to go lento. What you really want to be is moderato. Nice and even, nice and steady, get those gains, and close out the game.
I think that chicken parm from last night's gone to your head. Oh, he dropped it. They were looking for him in the middle third. He couldn't catch it. Now third down.
On any passes in the middle of the field, anyone who's going after the football is going to be conscious that it's probably going to be contested and often physically. Sometimes that leads to drops.
The Cowboys on third down. They're hitting at just 30%, 3 for 10. This is third and 7. Now Bennett to throw. From the gun, he'll throw. And that is incomplete. Out now comes the Cowboys punter. Remember, though, he did have one blocked earlier. A 45-yard punt, 4 there on the return. So now the Bengal offensive unit back out onto the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. Give him 3 on the play, and it'll be second down.
Now, that's often a surprise for the defensive guys when they see the big fella slide out of the backfield and catch the ball. Not something they usually go over in practice very often.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And he whips that one incomplete there.
Today's NFL, these big guys are featured receivers. They move them all over the place to try and find good matchups, and they had one. They were just unable to complete the pass.
And on third down, the Cowboys bring in an extra defensive back. They'll look to throw here. Got a man, it's Ross, complete. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Looks like the defense in press coverage here. They'll look to throw here on first down. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Carter. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Seeing that play and understand just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And what a really nice game right there on first down for them. Brings up a nice second down for them.
So they complete the pass, and now they face a second down. Now a handoff as they run left side. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. That'll set them back with a loss of 3 on the play. And just like that, it's third down. Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back, those are the ones you focus on and want to take away. And they've done that pretty successfully in this game.
Out of the gun now on third down. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. Here's Kevin Huber now as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Fair catch signaled for and taken at about the 15-yard line. 37 yards on the punt with no return. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue.
I got the sense that the defense created a little momentum for them there, didn't they?
Did their job, forced the punt. Now, nice start to the drive. Offense has to do their part.
Yeah, they certainly do, but what a great start for them. They got to go thank the guys on D.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. On 1st and 10, Bennett toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. Ryan Switzer, the one he was looking for, and that'll bring up second down. They'll run it now out of the gun. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. And no more. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10.
Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them and bringing up a key 3rd down. But if you're on the offensive side of the ball, there's an opportunity because I know what defensive guys are thinking right now. Just stop them, get to the ball. That means they might not be...
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And fortunately for him, he's able to get it back. But it will be a loss loss on the play.
Well, that was a big oops right there. But how about his ability to correct it? Loses the football, able to get it back himself.
Yeah, pounced right back on it, keeps possession. Out now comes the Cowboys punter. Time for a break as he's on to kick it away. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this. So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They're looking at a 4th down now as they try to hold on to this lead for dear life. Out now comes the Cowboys punter as he'll come on to kick this one away. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. That's taken on the 25. It's a 47-yard punt, return of 6. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks because then the defense has the advantage.
He's back to throw. Throws a quick hitter on the slant. That's complete. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. Now the Bengals urging everybody to get back to the line of scrimmage. Back to throw. Throw left side complete. It's Carter. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs. That's what they need right now. Get the first down, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
Just playing smart football, understanding the situation, making the plays necessary, and making sure that clock stops at every opportunity.
Fresh set of downs here. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. Back to throw. And he just gets rid of it. Throws it away. The wise move there. Looked like nobody open. Now 2nd down.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it. They'll look to throw. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. He'll look to throw. Looking left side, it's complete. He's got it. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a 1st down. The Bengals passing game finding a rhythm. They've got another first. Back to throw. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Counting down toward a minute to go in this football game. Now back to throw. And he rifles one incomplete. There have been quite a few plays they might look back on and say, we really have hurt ourselves, and that was another example.
And this is late-game execution. Everything on the line, so it all has to come together properly. The throw's made. Where's the catch? Got to catch in that spot.
7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. They're going to look to throw. And he's going to be out of bounds down inside the 20. A gain of 26 on the 3rd down conversion. Working the sideline there. Good route, good catch. 1st down, and he gets out of bounds.
Yeah, you have to like the play call because you have to run some guys down the middle of the field to draw some of the defenders away. They can't just let them guard the sideline exclusively. That's how it's going to work. Sidelines and incompletions to use the clock.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And he just throws this one away. Smart decision here this close to the end zone, and it brings up second down. Couple extra defensive backs out there in the dime, and because of that, really not many places to throw the football, if any.
And typically, what would you want to do against that dime?
Run the football.
You want to run the ball, but you can't do it in this situation. Not nearly enough time on the clock. You having to really navigate against a tough defense presented against you.
And he will avoid the contact as he slides to a stop. It's a good gain of 11, sets him up first and goal. First down now, but the clock continues to move. They'll set up a throw. And this one's incomplete.
Just looking at it from a defensive perspective, when you break the huddle in the red zone, tight end is one of the guys you've got to key on because quarterbacks want the ball in their hands fast in this position, and they want to get it to someone. And in this case, he had the play. They just didn't complete it.
And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up third down.
Now we're in the situation where the quarterback's got to take full charge of his huddle. Got to totally command it, make sure all eyes are on him. All focus is locked in. Going to call multiple plays and go over different situations and scenarios to make sure everyone is on the same page.
And he's got it. It's caught for a touchdown. And they have taken the lead here in the final seconds.
How many people are watching this one right here who gave up? Because that score, they might want to try and rush back into this stadium.
Yeah, what looks like is going to be the game-deciding score, although a little bit of time left, so you can't count your chickens before they're hatched.
Well, they better come back in here and watch this one because you and I, we're not going anywhere. We want to see this one play out.
He's got it, and this is indeed up to a 3-point lead. So that drive spans 13 plays, and it ends with a Bengals score. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And it's a short kick, taken right around the 19. And a pretty slick return there as he's up just shy of the 45-yard line.
And when you're facing a deficit on the scoreboard, you're just looking for something to get you right back into the game, and that's the spark that they were looking for. They got it with that big return.
Let's go!
Bennett now on first down. The Bengal pressure gets him that time. Down he goes. They've got to burn the timeout, and they do, but a costly, costly sack. And now maybe just time for one final play. Bennett looking to throw on second down. Going right side here, and that's complete. And a timeout comes in. The whistles blow with 3 seconds remaining. A field goal from this spot likely out of the question. They've got to get closer here on third down. One final shot. They'll look to throw. He's going to let it fly. And it's incomplete. So their final drive comes up empty. And with that, the ball game is over. Well, Charles, a pretty exhilarating finish to the end of this ball game. At the end, the Hail Mary prayers, though, they went unanswered. Could have won it, but couldn't get it done.
Almost felt schoolyard or playground, didn't it? Yeah, you remember when you called that play? Everybody just go long and try and find someone open. They gave it a shot, but unable to successfully complete it.
So for the Bengals, the win gets them back over 500 at 5-4 on the year. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Indianapolis Colts. Meanwhile, for the Cowboys, the loss will drop them to 6-3 now on the year. And they'll try to rebound next week on the road in Washington. So that's a wrap. For Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. It's a win for the Bengals as we say so long from Cincinnati.